Hi guys. Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Naomi, your growth strategic specialist. I'm here to get your business, your company, your tech startup, whatever you got from here to here by having conversation, actionable tips and tricks to get you the visibility, the customer, the client you need online. Let's start. Today's topic we're focusing on the founder's brand versus the company's brand. In 2026, people trust individuals more than faceless logos. So let's start. Mark Zuckerberg, what comes to your mind? Facebook, Elon Musk, what comes to your mind? Tesla, blah, blah, blah. Sadly, because everybody now is online, everybody can see logos everywhere. Almost as if it's like, oh, everybody's trying to sell you something. Like so many logos now. So you're competing not just in the ocean, but in a sea, in seas of so many things and so many places. What is one of the ways I can stand out? Founder being the face of the brand. And I know some businesses are like, oh, I don't want to. You don't have to, but I just want to give you a suggestion. I want you to think why you like buying from people that have shops and businesses, physical shops and businesses, for example. So in case you have an issue, you know who to call. If Facebook has an issue, nobody's gonna be like Facebook. Everybody's like Mark Zuckerberg. What are we doing? First of all, it creates a kind of relationship where you feel like, oh, I was there. I knew him when he started. There's this kind of relation. There's this kind of camaraderie. I've forgotten the name of the word I want to say, but when you don't have to be there every single time, but when people see the founder, the creator, the person behind the magic, talking to them, it feels personal, almost intimate. It feels like when your mom comes and says, hey, come and see the soup I made, versus when you go to a restaurant and you're like, oh, the soup's here. There's not as much emotions, it's not as much connection. And according to the findings and metrics, we see content, brands that tag along their founders are doing well 10 times more than the brands with just the logos and trying to sell. There's something personal about. Imagine, I want you to imagine what I'm doing right now. Imagine it was just a face talking, it was just a screen talking, versus seeing me express and talk about how to improve your business, how to tips and tricks that can get you from I'm doing well till I'm doing great online. To have your customers feel this emotional connection, like, oh no, I don't play with this thing. Like even now that a lot of people don't use Facebook, it's still at the back of their mind. You hear Mark Zuckerberg anywhere, you care a bit about the stories. Like even though we know Mark Zuckerberg, we don't really know him like that. We have an idea of his wife, we have an idea of like okay what he has done, but we knew him. And I want you to look at how Mark Zuckerberg plays. For example, if there's an important announcement he wants to make, where when we see him, we're like, oh, we don't see him often, but we know who he is. We're like, okay, what does he have to say? What is happening with Facebook? What is happening with here? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to improve? You understand? First of all, being a recognizable face does not mean you have to be showing up every single day consistently. It is just that people know you. So when it comes to important announcement, when it comes to there's this particular campaign I want to launch and it's very important, I want people to because they already trust me. They are part of the process and they see how passionate I am about this particular thing. They'll be more willing to like, oh, I know this guy. I'm open to hearing about him. I know this girl. I know this girl. She created this. I'm curious about this thing. So don't be so quick to be like, oh, I don't want to be the face of my brand. You can have other alternatives. I don't have to be the face all the time. But it's also important that people also know that, oh, this is the person behind the brand. This is the intention that they had. This is what they thought about when they were creating this thing. It does not have to be sitting down boring of, oh, like, this is who I am. But it can just be like, oh, guys, the creator of this, and this is something we're launching. Or like, if you're the kind of, this is a struggle you're having. This is like, the people are able to say that, oh, this is the passion behind the brand. This is the mind behind the brand. And when they have an issue, they know that they can come and talk to this person. This is a real person. People like talking to a real person, especially now we're in a world of AIs, logos, so many things in the sea, so many businesses, too many people to choose from, too many businesses to choose from, too many companies to choose from. When they see you and they recognize you and they understand how this person created something that can help me, this person is a real human being, this person actually like cares about me. The illusion of like parasocialism, like oh, like you know this person. The way we have this weird feeling like we know Mark Zuckerberg, but if I ask you like, what do you really know about Mark Zuckerberg? You don't really know anything. You don't know about that guy's personal life. You just know that okay, he created this thing and he has a wife and he has a family. That's really it. And you have an idea of the business itself. So It does not have to be an alarming thing. It could just be like, oh, this is what we're working on, guys. Hi, I'm the founder of this is what we're working on, and this is where we are going to right now. Okay, hi, you guys made some complaints, and this is we heard you, and this is what we are doing now. You see how these little things is like intimate. It is intentional. You are showing yourself when you need to be showed, and if you know you want to be more involved, like you want to be like in every post, that also works. You understand? But don't be faceless, especially in 2026, because there are so many things and so many businesses and companies in the ocean, and people like to connect with real people, and that is your selling point as a company, as a brand, as a business. You remember their face, you hear their voices, and if in future you want to do this community something, oh, you guys were doing something, they're like, oh, I know you, I trust you, I want to be in your presence. They almost feel this kind of emotional, like, oh, almost like a celebrity like feeling, but like a family member, because it's not like a celebrity, like this person's actively solving my problems. I want you to think about that electrician that always comes to the house, to the point that it's almost like a family friend, or that the nanny that almost became like a family friend, because that almost became auntie, uncle, because they were so consistent, they were so in your face. So little things like that. If you have any questions or actionable items, like you want me to list out specific ideas or campaigns or content ideas or promotions that you can look into, write it in the comment section. I could reply or do a content of that. If you want a one-on-one consultation, send me a DM. If you want me to work with your business or brand, send me a DM or send me a message. I hope this is helpful for you. And give me ideas. If you have any questions or you want me to talk about particular things, let me know. Have a lovely day. Bye.